Hi and welcome to my channel. It's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. Happy 25th of June. Wow, we are nearly there, nearly done, and I kind of don't want to be. But we do have a few more days left. So let's start with what number we're doing. And of course I don't have the app open. And I'm not on the right thing because I was popping diamond paintings into the app. You know, sometimes the stash grows. And let's have a look at what we have today. What square are we doing? Top or bottom? Number 2. So we're going up to the top, which means I do need my clips. I will show you these goodies as well. But let me get that clipped a bit further down so that I can not stretch as far. Much easier if I don't have to stretch as far. Oh, there we go. I can always tuck this out of my way, though it's not too bad where it is at the moment. And I'm going to move this one down just a little bit. In fact, where that square went was about there. So we'll line up with that one and give us a nice square area. But I'm working with the second pen that Dianna gifted me, which is this gorgeous rose gold colour, and it's a Benote pen. It comes with a little heart of each colour wax, a little tray or a trash tray, and then it comes with all these multi-placers, another single placer and a straightener, and they screw in. Though that one of course isn't moving now, but it does move. And it's got an angled tip and a normal tip on the end. So I'm going to be working with that one today, and they all came in this baggy bag. So we'll start down here with the D. I might try one of the glue dots in this pen as well, because I have another tip for using it straight, you know, rather than removing wax and then using it. But I am going to try both options, I think. I'm going to try a tip that has had wax taken out, and I'm going to try a tip that has never had wax. I'm pretty sure I've got at least one everlasting tip that's never had wax. And see how we go. And I tipped well more diamonds out than I needed for that. I thought I might have needed more. So, questions and comments. So, Fee says she loves the idea of stoppers being sold separately because one of her cats loves to play with the stopper. And she always has to bargain with him with a cat toy so that she gets it back. She started a new diamond art today and it's confetti crazy. So she's glad she's got the whip and waffle to keep her going. That's good. But yeah, we will look at selling stoppers in the shop. We just need to create the listing and all that sort of stuff and get some images of just the stopper. So I'll probably do it all at the same time as getting the last of the new images that we need for the site to put the new watermark on. I did some of them the other week on my day off, but things that aren't branded with 4Kids on at the moment, apart from maybe a little bit at the bottom of a sticker sheet. And we've been sending out a bit of both because of course we need to use up stock of one. But I do need to retake pictures of the logbook and the trays. So I'll be sure to take a stopper picture or two. And then we can use that as well. Right, do we have, oh, we have a couple of just little scatterings of other AB ones. So let me get those while I have this pen out. So I have one purple. I'm going to have lots of this purple left. Though there wasn't many of this purple originally for the diamonds that I took out. We have one of the eye, if I can get hold of it, one of those, and then two of the white. And I think that's all the ABs anyway. Well, the white's lasting, which is good because I didn't have many. So I was unsure whether it would last. So we can pop that pen down. Let's zoom in. This is where I find out whether having the painting hanging down is going to work or not. Oh yeah, we should be good. Let me get some diamonds in my pot. Let's have M. Looks like we have quite a bit of confetti that needs doing first off. Diana said, here's a funny one for you. I was on the phone with a friend and she asked what I was doing. And she said she was watching her daily waffle. She then proceeded to ask me why my breakfast needed to be so closely monitored. Love it. Absolutely love it. It's funny how sometimes, you know, terms that we use in diamond painting and things that we say can just become so normal to us that it throws us in a bit sideways when somebody doesn't understand what we're talking about. And you can get that in pretty much any hobby or anything that you do. You just get used to what we call the layman's terms. I do it in work as well. They like using acronyms in work all the time. And then sometimes you forget that somebody you're talking to doesn't know what on earth you're on about. It's like a secret code. You have to be in the group. Amy says air conditioning is a must in Texas. Summer is in the 100/40s regularly. She was away for a week and her aircon stopped working at some point when she was gone. When she got home, it was 86 degrees Fahrenheit and 30 degrees Celsius in the apartment. Ooh, that is warm. And if that was muggy warm as well, you know what I mean? There's warm and there's muggy warm. And muggy warm is nowhere near as easy to deal with as regular warm. And I can imagine if the apartment had, you know, all been, of course, shut, closed up while you were away, that it would be bearing a little bit more towards muggy warm. And that's just not nice. Oh, got jumping diamonds already. Got any more R's? Probably, but I can't see them yet. So we'll find them later. Crazy Cat Lady says, I think any craft is addicting. We always need to buy all the things. Yes, so true. It is a part of the hobby, and it's quite universal for pretty much any hobby. You do need to buy all the things, or at least you want to buy all the things, just that make it a little bit nicer, a little bit different. The treat yourself things. And I think it's good that we can do that. You know, there's nothing like being able to treat yourself to an item for your hobby. Will you get in? There's a diamond there that just keeps popping up. That might be another day's problem because I've just pushed it down again and it's just popped back up again. Probably have to switch it out. Kathy says, have you tried the angled tip from Everlasting Tips? She found it really comfortable and it helps her to place drills a lot easier. No, I haven't. The closest I have is I have got another pen with an angled tip like this one, with a plastic one. And did find it quite nice to use when I used it, but my fear was, part of my thing of not, really getting used to it, is that then I would want an everlasting tip angled placer on every single pen that I have. And that's when things can add up to a pretty penny. So yeah, I've tried them and I think they're okay. I think I just don't want to get too used to them, because if I do, then I'll feel like I need to treat myself, which is allowed, but it would be quite a big treat to go for the angled tip on most of my diamond painting pens, because I already spent a pretty penny putting a normal tip in all of my diamond painting pens. So yeah, that's the thing that sort of stopped me, but I have heard many pluses about the angled tip. I think I could potentially annoy myself having to turn it round, but I can see that there's the benefit of it being, you can actually see a little bit clearer the diamond that you are putting down when you use it. So if you haven't yet bought yourself loads and loads of pens that you want to get those tips for each pen, or a metal tip for each pen, then yeah, give the angled tips a go. They are nice. Hello Queen Crafting says Diamond Dots absolutely has ABs. Oh yeah, they do. I did a cushion. I don't know what my brain was thinking at that time. The only Diamond Dots I've done is a cushion that I picked up, and it did have ABs in it, so I should have known. You can also buy them in a jar for their, what's it called? For their freestyle system. They have neon and metallics and all sorts of different drills. I know they have a conversion from their normal colours to DMC colours. There is a conversion out there, so I would have thought there would be a conversion for their ABs as well. In fact, I'm pretty sure there must be, because I'm pretty sure that I put my spares in with my normal. Or maybe I didn't. No, I thought I had. And now I'm not so sure. Maybe I just put them in with all my other special drills and didn't actually separate them as ABs. Got me thinking now. I'm not quite sure. Katie says, why do you use a different pen for the sparkly diamonds? The reason I do, because of the coating on the sparkly ones, sometimes the normal wax won't pick them up as well. It's as though a little bit of the coating can come off, and it will actually sort of make your wax not work as well for the next normal diamond that you do. So I use a pen that has a lot stronger wax on the end. It doesn't tend to pick up the AB coating that I've seen. Definitely doesn't seem to take it off the diamond. And yeah, it just saves me having to refill my wax even more than I already am doing, due to the fact that the AB coating has made it not work as well. So that's why I use a different pen. Susan says, I was wondering if your children all get along with each other. Her and her siblings are extremely close, and I find it interesting to see how others are. She has a couple of friends that actually dislike their siblings, and I just can't wrap my head around that. Yeah, all my kids do pretty much get on. I mean, they have their own, mini falling out, but even now, I wouldn't say they may have done that a little bit more when they were younger, but now they hardly ever fall out with each other, if at all. You know, they might not be in the mood for dealing with one another on a particular day, but I think that's the same day that anybody's not in the mood for dealing with people. You know, and it's not due to it being their sibling that they're not up for it. It's just they don't want to talk to people. They're very good, you know, with each other and knowing each other's moods and stuff. There's probably a couple of them that don't get on as well with each other as they do with the others. But I think a lot of that can potentially be age difference and the fact that they're all still in the same house. You know, they don't have their own spaces. Yeah, but I get on with my brother and sister as well. You know, I mean, they are the other side of the world, so we're not living in each other's pockets and getting on each other's nerves. But even when I'm over there and staying at their house, you know, we've always pretty much got on. And I think a lot of that is accepting each other for who you are, and accepting, you know, each brother or sister for their own personality. And it may be different to you, but that's fine. It doesn't have to be the same. And I think once you realise that, it's a lot easier to get on, you know. Having said that, one of them's shouting at the moment, but that's probably not at one of the others. That quite possibly is at the TV. She's watching, or last I heard/saw, she was watching the Formula One. Because she was working when it was originally on, so she could only hear it originally. I think she's now watching it, and she's got very much into the Formula One to the point she's trying to get her shifts scheduled around it. But daddy-daughter can bond over the Formula One instead. Shawnee says hello from Australia. Have you ever read the Bronze Horseman books? I haven't. She says they're a favourite of hers. I'll have to have a look. I do have some Audible credits, so hopefully they're on there and I can have a nosy, and if it catches my interest I can get one. She also cries when watching Stepmom. Yep, I think that hits many. Her and her sister used to watch it all the time. Also Overboard with Goldie Hawn. Oh, what a classic. And Kurt Russell is another classic. Yeah, there's got to be something said for some of the older movies. I mean, the likes of Armageddon isn't old, but I do remember introducing that to the kids once and they loved it, and I was like, how have you not seen this? How have you been sheltered for this long? Maybe they just weren't old enough when it came out. Shawnee also says, I love your trays. She's used it so much that the 4Kids sticker has almost faded. Oh wow, I didn't even realise they could do that. They're laser printed. I don't think I've quite used mine that much yet, though I do move between them, so that could be why. Is there any chance of a rose gold one? I will put that on the list. More than happy to put that on the list. I'm not sure quite how well that'll be one of the silk type filaments, I think. So we'll have to see how well that actually prints into a tray. But I am more than happy to put that on the wish list / to-do list. Checking I got them all then. I thought I'd missed one. Okay. Talita says, I binge watch practically all your videos and I want more. I will try and fit in more. She's loving making diamond painting art and she's dreading finishing the ones that she's got. Oh, it is so much fun. I've actually tried to get this video filmed a little bit earlier in the evening than I normally get to, just so that I can try and do a bit more of another diamond painting that I've got. Try and squeeze a little bit more chill time in. Marie says, hi, thank you so much for the June Whip and Waffle. What's your dream diamond painting design and size? She's also hoping to get some trays from us soon. Design and size. See, I get very attracted to bright, colourful ones for the purpose of I love working on them. But I also get drawn to some of the big images. I think it's just because of the effect you can get from a big one and how much detail you can get in it. I don't know, I quite like a 30 by 40 size, you know, as a quite often painting to do. That's my sort of small size, 30 by 30 or 30 by 40. Because you get that sense of accomplishment quicker. But I do like to have the bigger ones going at the same time. 30 by 40 I do find a lot easier and manageable on my small table, you know, on this easel, which I use. Oh, okay, you want to stay there? You could stay there then, I'll get a different one for over here. Yeah, so 30 by 40 is probably the size I go for the most often. And that is just because of the ease of use and the satisfaction, because it can often be done quicker. But I do really like the ones that are like 100 by 40 or 40 by 80 or something like that, that are nice and long and have a bit more of a statement. Images wise, it can depend as to what I go for. As I say, I do get attracted to the bright and colourful. I quite often get attracted to the likes of the ones of wolves and foxes. They often seem to catch my attention, and I'm not sure what it is about them. It could possibly be the greys and the blues as well that attract me. But yeah, I like to be able to do a variety of different paintings. I often like the effect of paintings as well with a white background and then something a bit smaller as the image. And I think that's just because they're the ones I like to hang up in my home, because they have a bit of a, nice sort of modern and clean and simple design to them. And I do quite enjoy on occasion doing just a batch of white, and just tipping one colour, tipping loads of it into my tray. Though if it is a lot of white for a background, I'd use a different colour tray. I like just tipping a load in and just listening to an audiobook or watching the TV and just dotting and dabbing, as the hubby calls it. I just keep dotting and dabbing, dotting the diamond and dabbing it down, and off I go. Joanne Fleming says, late to the party, but an answer for the lady asking about a tablet for Pattern Keeper. She bought a Samsung Tab A from Amazon, and it's really easy to use. Yeah, the Samsungs are pretty good. They're normally more expensive, or at least the other Tab ones, the bigger rather than the Tab A, I think, are normally quite expensive. If you can find a nice price on a Samsung one, they do have that nice quality feel to them, as sort of another brand to try. Sherry T says, great tip about the release papers, it works great. And Debbie said she got her tablet ELG from Studio for £50. So it seems like there's a few different ones that would work well. If all you're using it for is Pattern Keeper, you don't necessarily need, high storage, fast processors or anything like that, because you're only ever telling it to do pretty much one thing, which is Open Pattern Keeper. So I think you can get away with most tablets. It will just be the quality of the screen that will change. Debbie says, I'm finishing my Heaven and Earth design during the June waffle. Could you please tell me where I got my AB pen from? So the one that I've been using for this, I'm pretty sure came with a painting from Victoria's Moon. Excuse me. But there are lots and lots of places that do sell them. So there are many places that you can buy them from. I've seen them on fan sales, I've seen them on Amazon, I've seen them on AliExpress. I've seen them in quite a few different diamond painting stores as well. So maybe if you are planning on ordering from somewhere, have a look at their accessories because they are quite popular. Quite a few places do them now. The cat lady says she ordered an AB nail art pen along with some glue dots, and they should be with her on Friday, so the day of this video. She hopes to be able to make a start on her craft room this weekend. Oh, exciting. It won't be a quick job, as she said it won't be a quick job as she has a lot of yarn to store, as well as her cross stitch and diamond painting, but she'll let us know how it goes. Oh yes, please keep us updated. And I'd love it if you can post pictures in the group as well. That will be awesome. It's always good to see people's craft space. Maybe we'll have to, when June Waffles done, maybe we'll have to do, you know, the odd post of show us your craft room and stuff like that, so that people can get ideas. Storing stuff in different ways, things like that, because that's always fun. I like storage. Fee says, I know you've not mentioned about this company because she knows there's so many, but Diamond Dots do really good quality. Yeah, I have only done one Diamond Dots, and that was a cushion. I think it's the price range that makes me a little bit more wary, because while the quality is there, they mainly do partials, and I think that's what's put me personally off from getting loads of them. Is if I'm doing a quality diamond painting, I want it to be full drill. I want the full enjoyment. Also, any canvases anyone does, if you get it from AliExpress or cheaper companies, it's worth researching the image. Yeah, and that's just to check that it's not copyrighted. There are many stock images out there as well, but just be wary if you are, you know, getting an image that you do want to, you know, that you want to do, that you're not paying a company that hasn't got the rights for it. Oh, so she's also commented, sorry, it's a long message, I'm trying to make sure I read out the main points. So she says it's funny how many diamond art that Susan has, because it's made her feel better, because she has 43 and she's been on a no buy since the beginning of May. Well, sometimes we all have to do that to ourselves. I know sometimes I slow down on the amount I'm personally going shopping for, just filling up my wax. Just, you know, to try and give myself time to make a little bit of a dent in what I've got. Sometimes it doesn't help that I have companies sending me images, because while I put many in giveaways, there are still the odd few that I really, really want to do, and they end up sneaking their way into my stash, and then I need to find the time to be able to do them. Sherry also says when she calls it a ghost diamond, so that is the other day when I went to place a diamond down and ended up hitting my pen on the canvas rather than a diamond because it had disappeared. I think it had landed on the canvas. I think it actually turned up later on after going on the canvas and rolling all the way off. But yeah, Ghost Diamond seems definitely very apt. She has a huge painting from Diamond Painting Deutschland. She's going to need to roll it to work on it, but it's double-sided adhesive. How can she roll it to keep it from rivering and bubbling? Probably outwards, I would say. So have your stuff on your double-sided tape going outwards, and you should be able to, as long as you're not rolling it too tightly, I think you should be able to just get away with rolling it around, you know, a pool noodle or some pipe lagging or something. Ideally with a double-sided canvas, when it arrives and it's rolled, quite often if it's a big one that I'm wanting to do, I actually don't fully unroll it if I can get away with it. And then I can, you know, not have to bother with the whole will rivers appear, will they not? But when I worked on the likes of the big Alice in Wonderland as part of my comparison, I didn't find it was a problem rolling it outwards round a pool noodle. I don't remember having any major issues with it when it came to working on it. And in fact, I've probably had more rivers, considering they were both home fun, I've probably had more rivers in the 50 by 60 custom that I've been doing, that I've just finished, of my mother-in-law, and I didn't roll that up. I hung it up. I hung all of the 50 by 60s up, and I've probably had more rivers with it being hung up and not rolled than I remember having with the Alice one that I did roll. I don't know, I'm sure other people will let me know if they've had a different experience, but I don't think it should cause a problem. Eri says, your suggestion got me thinking, and I would love to see a post-type review of your favourite shops you've bought from. Like, show a diamond painting of each place and what you like about the shop and what you thought of the quality. Yeah, that is something that I may well do in the future. It will be teamed up a little bit with the comparison, which is from 4 different shops, though they're just AliExpress ones. And I do try to give my thoughts when I de-kit a painting, so when it's finished. But I will try and do one on a few. It's just always hard to pick. It's not so much it's a complicated video, because she does say I don't know if it'll be too complicated. I think it's more what companies do you do it on and not do it on. Because quite frankly, I've bought from a heck of a lot of companies. And my only thought is, what do you compare from one company compared to another in a video? Is it fair to compare one against another? Maybe, maybe not. I'll give it some thought on how I can make it work, considering the amount of companies I have had stuff from and have bought from, and see what I can come up with. Joanne said, answer for the lady who asked about the type of glue dots, so removable or permanent. The ones Joanne has tried this week are permanent micro dots. So she mentioned that she started using them on the 16th, I think it was. I think she said she started it on the 16th, doing her June waffle, and it's still going. Beth said, where would you say the best place to get a custom diamond painting is? She sees a lot about stores on AliExpress, but she lives in a really awkward area that a lot of the companies on there don't deliver to. But she's wanting a picture. She wanted to do a painting of her parents' wedding for them. I'm currently doing a custom comparison between 4 companies, though they are on AliExpress. I thought AliExpress would be a safe one because they would ship to most places. If you're finding that not all companies on AliExpress do, then I think I'd need to know where you are. If you're happy to post whereabouts it is you live, maybe somebody close will be able to give you an example. Because I don't know of any other companies that sort of would. There are companies that will do customs and ship them out, but I don't know of any of the bigger companies that do customs that maybe would be able to ship to you. But my custom comparison will be coming as soon as I can get it all finished. And hopefully that will give you an idea of some stores on AliExpress, and maybe you can check out whether they will ship to you or not. Also, AliExpress can sometimes be a bit funny on the way you put your address in. So I know there's a lot of times that it had a little bit of a problem with UK addresses. And I think it was all about whether you put United Kingdom or Great Britain. It was very weird. It had to be broken down in a different way to what we normally say. So we normally say United Kingdom, which is England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. That is how our addresses pretty much always are across all sites. But then there is also Great Britain, which is England, Scotland and Wales. And every now and then it seemed to want you to put Great Britain or just England. And they don't tend to be things we automatically put in our address. We normally just put our county and then put United Kingdom or UK. So maybe check how your address is put into AliExpress as well. It could be having one of those moments. Let's call it an AliExpress moment. I'm just curling my canvas up a little bit just so I stop hitting it. Corrine says DIY Moon is a great higher end company. I've not tried them. She tried one and was very impressed. Oh, Discerning the Truth said, oh my, she was watching and she stepped away. This was video day before yesterday. She said she was watching, she stepped away a moment and came back to see that the dolly pen had lost its head. Yes. I actually picked that head up off the floor this morning. When I finished doing the video, I completely forgot about finding Dolly's head and just popped the pen to the side. But then having a quick tidy up, I found Dolly's head. So be assured, Dolly has her head back. It did just fit back on. So I think it was just something that maybe is supposed to be removable. I don't know. But yeah, don't let a child use one of those pens because I wouldn't feel safe with them using one of those, especially if they put the head part in their mouth and then it came off. All Things Crafty by Kaz. She says, I have completed 3, she thinks. Small diamond paintings from Timney Arts, and she has to admit she is a big fan of theirs. Yeah, their quality that I did, it was the year before last, I think. It was my first Advent that I did. I did a Timney Arts painting in that Advent. and I was very impressed with the quality of the diamonds for it. They worked really, really well. So it's only because I've heard they've changed ownership that made me not want to recommend them, based on the fact, not by their history, but by not knowing if it was the same quality that was kept up. I assume it is, but you know, sometimes you assume stuff like that and it turns round and bites you. Anna says, thank you for another interesting chat. Today is June the 23rd and she's still using the same micro dots. Oh, it was Anna that says she's still using the same micro glue dots she started using on June the 16th. Thank you for keeping us updated, Anna. That it is interesting how long they're lasting. Well longer than one of mine, than my waxes. She knew there was different sizes of glue dots, but she didn't know there was more than one kind. She just typed it in and ordered glue dots. And she also says that finding no drill on the end of her pen happens to her lots. Well, hopefully it'll happen less now that you've got glue dots on your pen. I'm quite looking forward to the idea of it going click, click, click. When you get that little dab that I can hear with the AB wax, or the pen that I use for ABs, I can hear that little click every now and then. Be interesting to see how much it does that with a glue dot. And probably beneficial that I don't test that out on a June Waffles, because if it does do it too much, and it may get on people's nerves if the camera picks up that noise all the time. We'll see how it goes, and we'll see if it annoys people when I use them on future Waffles or not. Laura says, thank you so much for your video today and answering my question about Pattern Keeper. As she was listening, she ran out of the colour 436. She got a ready-made box with her spares and luckily found some of the colour. Awesome. That is what spares are all about. I say my home fun, the last one that I did, I actually ran out of 2 colours on that painting. I probably could have got away with substituting something else for one of them, because I think I only needed 1 extra diamond, maybe 2, and it was in the section of green, which is actually sort of behind the picture, or the main picture of my mother-in-law. There was a green bush or tree or something, so I probably could have got away with not having enough of that one if I didn't have any in my spares. But the other colour I ran out of a lot more, and it was in her face, and therefore that would have potentially thrown the shading off if I didn't have some in my spares. So I was very glad to have some of those. Just having a little revamp with that diamond then. It's being a little bit of a pest. Tina says she's just ordered a second tray as she loves this tray so much, and her daughter keeps borrowing her pink one. Moving house tomorrow, but always time to diamond paint. Oh good, I am glad that you're making time to diamond paint, but don't wear yourself out too much, because moving, oh my goodness, I wouldn't even, no. We've been looking at potentially changing the kitchen at some point in the near-ish future. We're not in a major rush, but the kitchen is 20 years old, so we are thinking it might be time for a redesign. And even just the thought of moving everything out of that kitchen for the work to be done is, I mean, at least with the conservatory, there was nothing there originally. apart from a few bits. There was stuff in my craft room, but I didn't have to move too much for the conservatory to be built, and then I could just move everything into the conservatory and it sort of exploded. And then I had to Tetris everything back in. But yeah, just the thought of moving my craft room, or even just moving the pantry in my kitchen, that's another place that's a bit like an exploding box. You open the door and if you start to take everything out, it just takes over the whole room, considering it's tiny. But it's amazing where you can tuck all those extra little bits when you don't have much room. And then Judy says, help, I just got my everlasting tips and none of them fitting her pens. She says, any pen recommendations that fit everlasting tips? Everlasting placers and straighteners. So then she got a reply saying, wrap the end of the everlasting tip with washi tape. She says she has several pens and none fit. I did have to put glue dots. In fact, that's how I know I've got glue dots. I did actually use glue dots in a couple of my pens to make them stay in. And then Judy's replied to Elizabeth saying, you're a genius. They fit, thank you. She was so sad when they didn't fit. And as I'm reading that comment, it's less than 24 hours since Judy posted that question. And Elizabeth got back to her within the hour. That is amazing. Thank you so much to Judy for asking the question and to Elizabeth for answering it. Because that means that Judy didn't have disappointment at the tips not fitting in her pens for too long. We don't like diamond painting disappointment lasting long. We admit there sometimes that is life, but we definitely don't want it lasting for too long. So there you go. If you get an everlasting tip, say I did end up putting glue dots, I think, in mine, just to make them stay in the end of the pen. So they fit in, they just were a little bit smaller than some of the pens, and then some of the pens they fit in really, really snugly. So I guess you can't get them all exactly. So that's another square done. We have still done more at the top than we have at the bottom, but we'll see what tomorrow brings as we move our way down and see how it's going to be. But I thank you ever so much, all of you that are joining me, whether you're doing your own painting or whether you're doing something else. Do what works for you, but I am very glad that you come and listen to me waffle for so long. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all again tomorrow.